A grizzly just stepped onto the trail in front of you, and running is the worst thing you can do. You're face to face with one of nature's most powerful predators, and the next few seconds decide whether you live. This is a bear encounter, and it's already happening. You have seconds to react, and the wrong move is simply fatal. By the end, you'll know what it really takes to survive a bear encounter and the one mistake that ends it for most people. Your body is already doing something dangerous, flooding with adrenaline, screaming at you to run. That instinct could kill you faster than the bear ever could. But the real test hasn't even started, because this bear is studying you, deciding what kind of threat you are. It rises onto its hind legs now, towering over you, nostrils flaring. It's not attacking. Not yet. It's figuring you out. The wind shifts, and it catches your scent fully for the first time. Your heart is hammering so hard, you swear the bear can hear it. Everything you've ever heard about surviving bears is flooding through your mind, and half of it is wrong. Stay with me, because what you do right now is the difference between walking home and not walking home at all. Let's see if you could survive a bear encounter, second by second, decision by decision. First, understand what this bear sees right now. You're an unknown shape on its territory, something it didn't expect to find here. Most bears want nothing to do with humans. This one didn't plan to meet you. It was walking its path, and you were in the way. That matters because a surprised bear and a predatory bear are two completely different animals. This started as surprise, and surprise is survivable, but only if you don't turn it into something worse. Running does exactly that. To a bear, a fleeing animal is prey, and they can outrun you. Grizzlies hit 35 miles per hour. You won't outpace one. Not downhill. Not on a trail. Not anywhere. Running seals your fate, so you stand still. Your hands come up slowly beside your head, making yourself look larger. You speak in a low, calm voice. Not screaming, never screaming. You talk to it the way you'd talk to a frightened animal, because that's partly what it is. Hey bear, it's okay. It sounds ridiculous. But your voice tells it you're human, and most bears want to avoid that meeting as much as you do. Now watch the bear's body language. It's your survival manual. Huffing, swatting the ground, or popping its jaws means it's stressed, not attacking. Those warnings mean it's still deciding. A bluff charge where it rushes at you and stops is terrifying, but often means it wants space. Hold your ground through a bluff charge. Turning your back is the second worst thing you could do. It invites a real chase. Here's where most people fail. The charge comes, fear takes over, and they bolt. That's the moment a bluff becomes a real attack. If the bear makes contact, what you do next depends on which kind of bear it is, and that single distinction saves lives. With a defensive grizzly, you play dead. Drop face down, hands clasped behind your neck, legs spread so it can't roll you over. You stay still, even if it swats you. Movement tells it you're still a threat. Stillness tells it the threat is over. But here's the myth that kills people. Playing dead is not a universal rule. It works for a defensive grizzly, not for a predatory one. If a bear stalks you silently or follows for minutes, that's predatory behavior. Playing dead in that scenario is the worst possible choice. In a predatory encounter, you fight back hard. Aim for the face and eyes with anything you have. You make yourself more trouble than you're worth. The single most important tool in this encounter is bear spray. If you had it on your belt, everything about your odds would change. Bear spray creates a cloud that overwhelms a bear's senses: eyes, nose, throat. In most close encounters, it turns a charging bear around. But it only works if it's accessible and deployed at the right range. Fumbling through a backpack while a bear closes the gap is fatal, which brings us to the mistakes that end encounters badly. The first is running, and you already know why. The second is less obvious. Screaming or sudden high-pitched noise can escalate things. A stressed bear may interpret aggressive noise as a challenge, not a signal to back off. The third mistake surprises people, making hard eye contact with a grizzly. To a bear, a locked stare can read as aggression. Keep the bear in your peripheral vision without locking eyes. Watch its shoulders and posture. Those tell you what it's about to do next. And the fourth mistake is the simplest: not making noise on the trail in the first place. Most encounters happen because bears get surprised. A bear that hears you coming will usually leave. It's the silent hiker rounding a blind corner who triggers the most dangerous kind of meeting. Now let's talk about what happens if things go wrong, because this is exactly what separates survivors from statistics in bear country. If a grizzly makes defensive contact, your job is convincing it you're not a threat. Face down, hands behind your neck, legs apart, you stay still. The bear may swat and press on you. The urge to fight back is overwhelming, but in a defensive attack, stillness is your only shield. Most defensive grizzly attacks end when the bear decides the threat is gone. It walks off. People have survived by simply wading through it. But here's the nuance most guides skip. Black bears are different. If a black bear attacks, you do not play dead, you fight back. Black bear attacks are more often predatory. Playing dead with the black bear can give it exactly what it wants, a motionless, unresisting target. So knowing which bear you're facing changes everything. Brown, humped shoulder, dish-shaped face, grizzly. Smaller, no shoulder hump, flat face, black bear. What would you do here? Could you hold still while something that powerful is on top of you? Tell me before you see the answer, because that's the real test of a bear encounter. It's not about strength or speed. It's about controlling the one thing you can, your panic. Now the bear leaves. You're standing on the trail, shaking, possibly hurt, but alive. The next phase of survival begins right here. If you're injured, the clock starts again. Exposure, blood loss, and shock are now your enemies, and you may be miles from the trailhead. Adrenaline masks injury. People have walked away from attacks not realizing they were badly hurt. Check yourself thoroughly before you try to move. Stay warm, keep pressure on any wounds, and move slowly toward help. Call for rescue the moment you have signal. Don't assume you're fine. Here's the verdict. What determines who survives a bear encounter isn't luck or strength. It's preparation, composure, and knowing bear behavior. The survivors are the ones who stayed calm, held their ground, and never triggered that prey response by turning and running. Carry bear spray, make noise on the trail, and know the difference between a defensive and a predatory bear. Those three things tilt everything. So here's the question. Would you have made it? Could you have stood still while every fiber of your body screamed run? If this rattled you, the one on surviving a mountain lion encounter is even more intense because you won't even see it coming. New survival scenarios every week. Could you survive the next one? Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. Because in a bear encounter, the animal isn't your worst enemy. Your own instinct is, and beating it is the only thing that gets you home. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. A what-if scenario, not survival, medical, or safety advice. Never attempt anything shown here.